Then I heard its soft grunts, whispers, and the creak of a bed frame from Noah's room. His door was cracked open, light spilling out. Curiosity, or something darker, drew me closer. Peering through the gap, I saw Noah, my 25-year-old stepson, lost in his own world, his movements stealing my breath. "You weren't supposed to see this," I whispered, my voice trembling. His eyes met mine, unstartled, almost expectant. In that moment, I crossed a line I'd sworn never to touch, a forbiddance heat surging through me. I turned away hands, shaking, and fled to my room. The image of Noah burned into my mind. Sleep didn't come, replaced by guilt, shame, and a longing I refused to name. I thought of James, oblivious, and our life in this quiet town where secrets hid beneath sagebrush. Noah was no longer the lanky 14-year-old I'd met. He was a man, and I'd seen him in a way no stepmother should. The weight of that moment pressed down, pulling me into a spiral of conflicting emotions. I told myself it was a mistake, but something had awakened something dangerous. By morning, my coffee sat untouched, my thoughts tangled in what I'd witnessed. What would happen next? Would Noah speak? The house felt smaller, the walls closing in, and I knew this was only the beginning of a secret I couldn't unsee. Happened after that night was unthinkable. Watching Noah, I crossed a boundary, my heart racing with guilt and forbidden desire. Before I continue, thank you to everyone subscribed. Your support fuels these stories. To new viewers, I hope this tale pulls you in to hit subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's unravel this together. I'm Emma, 45, living in a Wyoming town where secrets hide in the silence. I married James 3 years ago, a rugged farmer and teacher, respected but distant. His son Noah was 14 when we met, shy, polite. Now 25, he's tall, broad, with a smirk that unsettles me. Our marriage faded, no fights, just separate lives. I stayed out of duty and fear. Noah returned that summer, needing time after college. I gave him the spare room, but his presence shifted everything. Lingering kitchen glances, shirtless mornings, his hand brushing mine, each moment charged with tension. I told myself it was nothing, but my body disagreed. That night, sleepless, I heard him. I should have walked away, but I stood at his door, watching, hearing my name on his lips. When our eyes met, I stepped closer, drawn into a forbidden moment of whispered words and touches. Afterward, I fled, my mind reeling. How had I let this happen? I was his stepmother, bound to James, yet I'd surrendered to desire. The next morning, the house was quiet, James gone to the fields. My coffee sat cold as I wrestled with guilt and longing. Noah's presence lingered, and I knew this wasn't over. What did he want? What did I? The secret was heavy, and I wasn't sure how long I could carry it. I'm Emma, and Wyoming's been my home for years. A place where secrets settle beneath sagebrush and silence. Small towns don't forgive easily. I married James at 42, a man with a farmer's hands and a teacher's voice, respected but emotionally distant. His son, Noah, from a prior marriage, was 14 when we met, awkward, polite, with shy smiles. I tried to be a good stepmother, but we were never close. Now 25, Noah's a man tall, broad, with a smirk I can't read. James and I drifted apart 3 years ago. No fights, just separate rooms and lives. I stayed out of duty, habit, and fear of leaving. Noah returned that summer, post-college, needing time to find his path. I offered the spare room, thinking it temporary, but his presence changed the house. His shirtless mornings caught me off guard. His kitchen glances lingered. His hand brushing mine sent jolts I couldn't explain. I told myself it was nothing, but my body stirred, betraying my vows. I'd catch myself watching him, his strong arms, the way his jeans hung low, then turn away, ashamed. James, oblivious, left for the fields daily, his routine steady, Noah filled the space, his quiet confidence unsettling. Our conversations grew charged, his eyes steady, my words faltering. That night, sleepless, I heard sounds from his room grunts. Whispers, a creaking bed. I should have walked away, but I didn't. Standing at his door, watching him move, hearing my name, I felt desire I couldn't suppress. When our eyes met, guilt didn't come, but something dangerous did. Now I was trapped in a secret threatening to unravel my life, and I didn't know how to stop it. James and I drifted apart 3 years ago, our marriage fading into separate rooms and routines. No fights, just silence. I stayed out of duty, and fear, the loneliness, the quiet ache. Noah, James's son, returned that summer, 25 and fresh from college, needing time to plan his future. I offered the spare room, but his presence shifted everything. No longer the shy 14-year-old, he was tall, broad, with a smirk that unnerved me. His shirtless mornings, lingering kitchen glances, and accidental touches as we passed dishes sparked tension I couldn't ignore. I told myself it was nothing, but my body disagreed, stirring with heat I hadn't felt in years. I'd watch him, his arms carrying firewood, his jeans low, and hate myself for it. James left daily for the fields, oblivious, his boots and thermos gone by dawn. Noah filled the house, his confidence a constant pull. Our interactions grew, charged, his eyes steady, my responses faltering. I tried to focus on chores, but he was always there, unsettling me. That night, unable to sleep, the ceiling fan whirring, I heard sounds from his room, grunts, whispers, a creaking bed. I should have walked away, but my feet carried me to his door. Watching Noah move, hearing my name on his lips, I felt a forbidden rush. When our eyes met, I stepped closer, surrendering to a moment that shattered my vows. His hands found mine, and the world vanished. Afterward, I fled, my mind reeling. I was his stepmother, bound to James, yet I'd crossed a line. The next morning, my coffee sat cold, guilt and longing warring inside me. Noah's presence was a shadow, and I knew this wasn't the end. How could I face James or myself with this secret? Sleep eluded me, the Wyoming night heavy with silence. James's snores echoed down the hall, our marriage a shadow of itself, untouched by passion for years. I rose for water, the floor cold. Under my feet, when I heard it, grunts, whispers, and a creaking bed from Noah's room. His door was cracked, light spilling out. I should have turned back, but something pulled me forward. Standing at the threshold, I saw Noah, my 25-year-old stepson, moving with deliberate intensity, his body taut. My name slipped from his lips, a secret whispered 100 times. My heart raced, desire drowning out reason. "You weren't supposed to see this," I whispered, my voice trembling. His eyes met mine, not shocked, but knowing, as if he'd expected me. Guilt should have stopped me, but it didn't. I stepped closer, drawn into a forbidden moment of whispered words and touches. His hands, strong and sure, found mine, and I surrendered, the world fading away. Afterward, I fled to my room, my mind a storm. I was his stepmother, bound to James, yet I betrayed everything. The memory of Noah's touch, his voice, haunted me. I told myself it was a mistake, but something darker had awakened, something I wasn't ready for. By morning, the house was silent, James gone to the fields. I sat with cold coffee, guilt, and longing battling inside me. Noah's presence lingered, a shadow I couldn't escape. What had I unleashed? How could I face James or myself? The secret was heavy, and I knew it wasn't over. Noah's confidence, his knowing smirks, told me he'd test me again, and I wasn't sure I could resist the pull of what we'd done. Morning broke, the Wyoming dawn paled through the windows. The house was quiet, James gone to the fields, his boots and thermos missing. I sat at the kitchen table, my coffee cold, the memory of Noah's room a relentless loop, his movements. My name on his lips, our forbidden moment. Guilt hovered, but desire lingered stronger. Noah walked in, shirtless, jeans low, confidence radiating. "Morning," he said, his dark eyes steady. "We should talk," I replied, my voice strained. He leaned against the counter, a dangerous smile forming. We could, or we could do it again. My breath caught, my body betraying me with a spark of heat. "It was a mistake," I said, but he stepped closer, whispering, "Then why are you trembling?" My hands shook against the mug, not from fear but craving. I stood, moving to the sink. "This can't happen again," I said, more to myself, but Noah's gaze followed, unapologetic. I tried to bury myself in chores, dishes, sweeping, a trip to town, but he was everywhere. His footsteps, his laugh, his shadow. Each moment tested me, pulling me back to that night. James returned, kissing my cheek, talking about a tractor, oblivious to my turmoil, his ignorance cut deep. That night, beside him, my phone buzzed. Noah's message. Still. Thinking. I turned it over, but sleep didn't come. Memories flooded his hands, his breath, the way I'd wanted more. The next morning, Noah found me at the sink. "You haven't told him," he whispered. "So, you're not done." I pushed him away, voice sharp. "We're done." But his smirk said otherwise, and I knew he'd keep testing me. The secret was a weight, and I wasn't sure how long I could carry it. The day felt like a fog, my movements mechanical as I tried to outrun my thoughts. I scrubbed counters, folded laundry, anything to avoid Noah's gaze, but the house was too small. His presence lingered, footsteps in the hall, his shadow passing the window. Each encounter sparked a battle between guilt and desire. In the kitchen, his eyes followed me, his arm grazing mine as he passed, sending unwanted heat through me. I told myself it was over, but his confidence said otherwise. Folding clothes, I found his shirt from that night. It scent cotton, musk, sin making my heart race. I dropped it, ashamed. Was it deliberate? James came home, kissing my cheek, talking about a neighbor's horse, oblivious to my chaos. His ignorance hurt more than any accusation. That night, beside him, Noah's message glowed. Still thinking. I turned the phone over, but sleep eluded me, memories of his touch haunting me. The next morning, Noah stood close at the sink. "You haven't told him," he whispered. "You're not done." I pushed him away. "We're done, Noah." He smirked, noting my perfume, the one he liked. I froze. I'd worn it for him, a betrayal I couldn't deny. Guilt crashed over me with paranoia and shame. I called Clara, confessing enough. "Emma, stop before this destroys you," she said, her silence sharp. She was right, but the damage was done. That evening, James mentioned a Cheyenne trip with Noah, saying Noah might stay there because things are complicated. My stomach twisted. Had Noah hinted at our secret? Was he leaving or playing me? The uncertainty gnawed, each possibility. A spark threatening to ignite my world. The secret weighed heavier each hour, a stone in my chest. I moved through chores, dishes, laundry, a trip to town, but couldn't escape Noah's presence. His glances in the kitchen, his arm brushing mine, sparked desire I hated. I told myself it was over, but his smirk suggested he knew better. Folding laundry, I found his shirt. It scent cotton, musk, sin-stirring memories. I shoved it away, heart racing. James came home, kissing my cheek, talking about a tractor, unaware of my turmoil. His ignorance cut deep. That night, beside him, my phone buzzed. Noah's message. Still thinking. I turned it over, but sleep didn't come. Memories of his touch overwhelming. The next morning, Noah stood close at the sink. "You haven't told him," he whispered. "You're not done." I pushed him away. "It was a mistake." He noted my perfume, the one he liked. I froze. I'd worn it for him, a subconscious betrayal. Guilt surged with shame and paranoia. I called Clara, confessing enough. "Emma, stop before this ruins you," she said, her silence heavy. The damage was underway. That night, James mentioned a Cheyenne trip with Noah, saying Noah might stay because things are complicated. My stomach twisted. Had Noah said something? Was he leaving or manipulating me? The questions gnawed, each a threat to my fragile world. I lay awake, wondering what Noah wanted, what I wanted, and how long. I could keep this secret. The house felt like a cage, every corner holding echoes of that night. I tried to act normal, but Noah's presence was relentless, testing my resolve. The pull between us was strong, and I wasn't sure how long I could resist before everything unraveled. The house felt tense, James's words about Noah staying in Cheyenne echoing. Had Noah hinted at our secret? Was he leaving or playing me? I tried to cling to normalcy, cleaning, cooking, but Noah's gazes and brushes kept me on edge. At the sink, he'd noted my perfume, the one I'd worn for him. I froze, realizing my complicity. Guilt crashed over me, no longer a shadow but a weight. I called Clara, confessing enough. "Emma, stop before this destroys you," she said, her silence sharp. That night, James said Noah might stay in Cheyenne because things are complicated. My stomach twisted. Did he know? I couldn't run from the truth. Waiting until the house was silent, I went to Noah's room, opening the door without knocking. He sat shirtless, calm, expectant. "What do you want?" I demanded, voice trembling. He leaned back, eyes locked. "Why pretend? You don't want this? You look at me like you're starving?" His words cut deep, exposing my desire. He stood, breath on my neck. I planned it, cracked door, your name, knowing you'd see. My stomach dropped. "You set me up?" He shrugged. "You chose." He was right. I'd noticed him for months, worn his perfume, lingered in his gaze. "You're leaving with James?" I said, gripping the doorknob. "We need space." He smirked. "Or I tell him everything." My blood ran cold. Was he bluffing? The truth was clear. I'd been complicit, drawn into his game. Furious, I faced him, my resolve hardening. This wasn't just desire, it was dangerous. I had to end it, but the questions lingered. How far had Noah planned this, and could I keep this secret buried? Noah's room smelled of pine and sweat, his lamp casting shadows across his bare chest. His threat, "Maybe I tell him," froze me. "What do you want?" I demanded, voice low. He leaned back, eyes unyielding. "Why pretend you don't want this? You're starving, Emma." He admitted it was planned, cracked door, my name. Whispered, knowing I'd see. "You set me up?" I whispered, knees weak. "You chose." He shrugged. He was right. I'd noticed him, worn his perfume, lingered in his gaze. I was guilty. Sitting on his bed, I felt the weight of my choices. "What now?" I asked. He leaned in, cupping my jaw. "Admit you liked it, that you're tired of being invisible in your marriage." Tears stung because he was right. James hadn't seen me in years. But this wasn't love. It was power, lust, control. Noah was playing a dangerous game. I stood, facing him. "You win. You got what you wanted. But this ends now. Leave with James. Forget this. Threaten to tell him, and I'll burn your bridges." He looked surprised, then amused. "You're stronger than I thought," he said, smiling. I walked out, heart pounding, resolve firm. I'd taken control, drawn a line. Guilt would haunt me, my marriage might never recover, but I'd stop the fire. Questions lingered. Had Noah planned this all along? Should I confess to James? Can desire be free of manipulation? The consequences would follow, but I'd chosen to survive. If this gripped you, share your thoughts below. What would you do? Stay bold, stay honest, and let's keep unraveling these truths together.